Oh man, when this rumor came out, I'm like, I had to double take a look at it. I had like 5 times to make sure this is accurate. Like, I'm reading this right. Well, here it is. It's official. Pantera is back. Fans who are, let's just start with the casual fans that doesn't know about Pantera. A metal band. Originally started off as a glam band, late 80s, early 90s. A little swift kick in the butt. And met with Terry Date, who pretty much produced the very first record, Cowboys from Hell. And it's, again, a classic album, classic metal album that shaped up the 90s for heavy metal. And from there was history. They just got heavier and heavier and heavier. And faster and harder. And these guys became the biggest metal band in the 90s. When you have Metallica cutting their hair, gone through a different phase. A lot of thrash bands from the 80s were going through different phases in the 90s. Minus Slayer. Slayer has always been Slayer. You know, they haven't never changed. Obviously Slayer got a little punkier in the mid 90s. Testament, early 90s, were slightly gone through a different direction. Same thing with Exodus, but eventually they picked up their guru, I should say. Testament just got heavier. Testament got heavier, and I mean they are even 10 times better than they were back then. Now they're great. Testament sounds great, but Pantera, man, Phil was influenced by death metal in the late 90s, and they became the biggest metal band. They filled in the void that Metallica was carrying for years, and they decided they went to a different direction for Metallica, and then Pantera came in and filled in the gap, and they carried the metal flag, and that's how big they were. They went on. They did Ozfizz with Black Sabbath and Ozzy, so it tells you how big they grew. I mean, their albums were hitting high charts, and it's history. And unfortunately, by the 2000s came around, Pantera disbanded. They disbanded. I mean, if you watch the history documentary about it, Phil Samos, were going through issues, and the whole band disconnected from each other. And eventually, Phil claims he was gonna just sit to the sidelines and recover, and eventually he went to start his own band, which was either Down or Super Joint Ritual, one of the two. And he decided to go on tour with Rex Brown. And that left Vinny and Dime, they were upset about it because they want to continue on with Pantera, but life continues on. And they decided to start their own band called Damage Plan. And, yeah, man. The Damage Plan went on tour. Again, from the biggest metal band in the world, now starting back down to the bottom again. Vinny and Dime decided, like as I mentioned, Damage Plan went on tour, playing these small local clubs, until the very dark day. The very dark day, Columbus, Ohio. And it's a dark day for all metal fans that none of us don't want to revisit. And that was on December 8th, 2004. The day fans will never forget. Damage Plan played at the El Rosa Villa in Columbus, Ohio. And that was the day fans lost Dimebag Darrell. Was shot and killed by a guy who just walked in with a gun. And that day was the darkest day of heavy metal. And it was just looking back on it now, it's just like, why? Why him, And eventually Vinny stepped away from the drums for quite a bit because, again, he was on stage with his brother and witnessed his brother getting killed. I mean, that's something to think about, to want to see. And the last thing you want to do is get back in the drum riser after seeing that. And I totally respect that. And then for being away for a while, and eventually Chad Gray, who just left from Mudvayne, for on hiatus from Mudvayne, and a couple other guys band together and encouraged Vinny to get back on the drums. And that started up Hell Yeah. A great band. Great band. And I was lucky enough to see Hell Yeah a couple times with Vinny. Rest in peace. And yeah, man, Vinny passed away a couple years ago. Just from, I believe, a heart attack. And since then, Vinny remained on a non-speaking terms with Phil Samuels, the lead singer of Pantera, who the drummer indirectly blamed for Dimebag's death. That's the whole reason why Vinny and Phil were on non-speaking terms. And here they are now. It's 2022. Blabbermouth.net obtained official, what do you call it, like official press release, came from the Billboard.com, and they stated that Phil and Rex signed up to a major North American touring company to plan on a Pantera tour for 2023, next year. And it's a nice little tribute tour. It's not a reunion tour, okay? Now that's what's getting a lot of people worked up in the metal world right now. It's just mixed emotions. And should it be a tribute tour? Yes. It should be a tribute tour to celebrate the life and legacy of Dimebag and Vinny. Long overdue. Long overdue. I wish Phil and Vinny had their differences settled. I wish it had happened, and at least we'll have 3 of the Survivor members to celebrate Dimebag. And unfortunately, Vinny passed away, and that never been resolved. So now you only have 2 surviving Pantera members still alive. Phil's still around, still crushing it on stage, and Rex Brown is kind of doing his own thing. So that being said, who's going to take the spots of Dimebag Darrell and Vinnie Paul? Those are big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill. And right off of my mind, Zakk Wylde, filling for Dimebag. Nice little tribute. Why? Well, metal fans know why. For those who are casual and don't know, Zakk Wylde, guitarist for Ozzy for years. He owns the band Black Label Society, one of my favorites. Guy's a shredder. He was a close friend of Dimebag. Really close friends back in the 90s. And you can look at photos online of Dimebag wearing Black Label Society hat and t-shirts. And those two are like brothers. And when Dimebag passed, and Zakk Wylde wrote a song called In His River, which Black Label Society plays every show. And they do a tribute for Vinny and Dimebag, which is great. It's beautiful. Beautiful song, beautiful presentation, live on stage. Nice tribute. And Zakk, again, loves them every day on the tour. That's what I love about Zakk Wylde. So it's fitting. It's fitting to have Zakk play in honor of his late great best friend / brother, Dimebag. It makes sense, right? Or they could have select musical guitarist guest. Select guitarist guest. Maybe they can have, I don't know, someone. I mean, again, Dimebag, he has a unique sound, a unique playing. Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, someone that's a good little special guest to come on stage and play. Um, Chris Broderick. I mean, guys who played on the metal. What is it? The metal not the Metal Masters, the Metal Alliance, like a super group. And when they did some Pantera covers, trying to think who else that could come on stage and just rip. I mean, they could have a couple of thrashers, Gary Holt or Kirk Hammett, somebody that comes on stage for a song or two, but let Zach do the hefty work. So those are my guests. If they have special guests throughout the United States and select cities, they can have come on stage and play. I'm pretty sure they will do that. Now, for the drum aspect, that's a tough one. Obviously, fans know Vinny is a hard-hitting drummer. So, that being said, well, the reports came out stating that Charlie Belladante, the drummer from Anthrax, is going to fill in the shoes for Vinnie Paul. And what a great honor for Charlie to do that. He's a great drummer. Fans, in my opinion, I guess you could say underrated. Charlie's great. He is a phenomenal drummer. Seen him numerous times the past 5-6 years with Anthrax, and he kills them, man. His drums are perfection. Charlie's a great drummer. Great drummer. And a huge Kiss fan. Along with Vinny and Dimebag. Huge Kiss fans. So, it'd be pretty cool to have Ace Frehley come out and do something. It's a long shot, right? But nonetheless, Charlie and Zach Wild, good fitting members. Good fitting members to the pay homage and respect of the late great Vinnie Paul and Dimebag. And I do see fans speculating, saying that maybe you should put this to rest. Maybe you shouldn't do this. Fans like myself never seen Pantera in a heyday. I would love to see this happen one more time. Not as a permanent thing. Just make it a renew Pantera. No, I can't. There's only one Pantera with original members. There's only one Dimebag. There's only one Vinnie Paul. There's only one Eddie Van Halen. There's only one Ronnie James Dio. You get the gist here? There's only one of them. Only one Lemmy Kilmister. There's not another one out there. You might have someone be like him, but there's only one of them. There'll never be another Lemmy, and there won't be another Eddie Van Halen. That's it. So, it's good to get the Pantera name out there, but make it as a tribute. And do it one last time with the fans. Possibly do these major amphitheaters. Play the classic songs. And just pay homage to Vinny and Dimebag. Let's just do that. And definitely make the fans happy. Do it one more time. I mean, it's been 20 years. It's been 20 years. Hard to believe that. Since Pantera was on tour. So, like I said, if they head out to the Chicagoland area, I will be there. I will be there front and center. And this is, like I said, it's a big news for Pantera to come back and under the moniker with Phil and Rex, and they have the brothers of the friends of Vinny Dime, Zach Wild and Charlie Belladante. Perfect tribute tour. Same thing with Van Halen. Hopefully Van Halen can get their things together. I know David Lee Roth makes the shots, calls the shots with Alex Van Halen. Hopefully they get Michael Anthony back on bass and possibly join up with Sammy Hagar. Have a special guest guitarist play throughout the tour. Just to pay tribute to Eddie Van Halen. Make this the one last hurrah for Van Halen moniker and call it quits. Same to him, Pantera. You gotta do it. So, there you have it. Pantera, official back. Touring in 2023. Phil Semos, Rex Brown, Zach Wilde, and Charlie Belladante. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe today. You can find me on all major podcast outlets, on Twitter, and on Twitch, Riffs and Body Slams. And don't forget to follow my official Riffs and Body Slams original channel, Pro Shot Concerts and Wrestling Videos. Subscribe today.